Okay, so all right, so good morning once more. For your information, we will be having this particular presentation as part of your midterm examination. And the midterm examination will happen after the Holy Week celebration or Holy Week vacation. No? Okay. For your section, it will be done during after 1 week, no? After 1 week ng Holy Week celebration. All right. So as we all know that information assurance is very important, no? So we were able to discuss that last semester also, no? Now for the past weeks we were able to discuss about with regards to digital forensics, no? These were special lectures because it needs to be done because we had this competition, no, with regards to digital forensics. That's why we started with digital forensics. But um, in a normal setting, we are supposed to start with concepts, no, concepts and principles, terms, no, in order for us to articulate and understand these terms, no, kasi nga all throughout of our information security career, we should be familiarized with these terms, no. So let's start from this, okay. Now, by the way, before I discuss the terms that you can see on your screen right now, okay, one of the things why do we have this information security? Because we are protecting the sensitive data, and sensitive data and information from unauthorized access, no, from unauthorized users, no. In it includes as well the unauthorized usage, no, the disclosure of data, and the sensitive information, the disruption of information, and of course the modification and the destruction. The last three terms, or the last three words that I have mentioned, disruption, modification, and destruction, is related to the loss of integrity, no. Later on, if you can see on your respective screen right now, there is a term there, integrity, no. So we will be dealing with integrity later on. Okay. Now, let's start in discussing, articulating these terms. No, let's start with confidentiality. No, last semester we were able to learn, no, about privacy. No, so sabi natin, privacy is it is the basic right, no, it is the basic right of a person that is being guaranteed, no, by the constitution, no. So even though this particular person is not asking for the privacy, we should be able to respect, no, his or her privacy, no. The other term of privacy is confidentiality, no. Confidentiality, it refers to the protection of sensitive information from unauthorized access. Last semester also, we were able to learn that each of us, no, have a sensitive information, no, sensitive data, no. I'm not referring to images, but I'm referring to the information that can be used by other people against us, no. That's why I'm always advising my students not to post their identification card in Facebook or in other social media platforms, because other people can be able to get this sensitive information. Now, when I say sensitive information, I'm referring to the name, to the address, to the birth dates, etc. Because this information can be able to be linked to the other accounts, no, of that person. Okay. Now, how can we be able, if there is a loss of confidentiality, okay, meaning to say there might be um um okay, there will be a loss of confidentiality. So, meaning to say, maybe that particular person or that particular system might be compromised already. No. Now, the question is, how can we be able to to avoid the loss of confidentiality. Of course, we should be able to use technologies as well, through encryption, through encryption, through access control. So meaning to say, before that happens, we were preventing it to happen na, so dapat if you're in IT, if you're in computer science, you should be able to think in advance, okay, that this anticipate things, that this could happen, that this might happen. Okay, now the second one is the integrity. All right, the integrity, so maybe you've heard this in the past, integrity, it refers to the protection of information from unauthorized modification or destruction, so for the file or the data that we are sending, from our end to the end, from our end and to the recipient, should be the same, dapat walang nagbago diyan, and then 'di ba, in the last few weeks, I was able to demonstrate to you how can we be able to check, if that particular file has been changed, has been modified, by knowing the hash value, the hash value of that particular file. Okay, now, all right, now we should be able to avoid the unauthorized modification or destruction. We all know naman, actually, I want to be honest with you, if people, can only be trusted, if people can be able to not to parang not to act, parang they would not access, they would not access our files, our data, etc., we do not need information security, we do not need these technologies, but in reality, this cannot happen. That's why there is information security, there is an information technology, etc., etc., now how can we be able, again, if there is a loss of integrity, your file or your system might be compromised already, if it is compromised, all right, you should be able to act on it, okay, because if it's been compromised, there is a loss of integrity. Later on, you will know also that there might be a loss of reputation, and then reputation, this is one of the biggest assets, biggest assets of a person or of a company. Okay, so how can we be able to avoid, avoid the loss of integrity, by having backups, so you are now third year, for the past 3 years, you should have been able to know, how to back up your files. So there is no reason for you to be to say otherwise, that yeah, I've lost this particular file because I was not able to, I failed to back up this particular file. The second one is the access control, sabi ko nga, we should hindi pa nangyayari, hindi pa nangyayari, we should be smart enough, we should be able to smart enough, rather, to prevent all these things, so access controls is one of them, we should only allow people, to access our files or the system itself, yung authorized lang, authorized lang. The third one is availability, 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 it refers to the ability to access and use information when it is needed. It should be ubiquitous where it is needed, and when it is needed, it should be available. Now, in reality naman, servers, data centers, nagkakaroon naman yan ng maintenance. Kakaroon yan maintenance, but hindi lang halata ng end users. Kasi may mga redundancy yan, and then they are not just informing us, pero in reality nagkakaroon ng maintenance, so again, they are doing this because they want their systems, they want their services to be available 24/7. Okay, are you still okay so far? Okay, if you are okay and learning, please type it there on the chat box. I'm okay. Ayan. All right, very good. Thank you very much. So you're okay. Since this is being recorded, all the things that you have typing there on the chat box will be recorded also. No, so I would know who are those students who are participating on my discussion. Thank you very much. No, let's proceed with the next term of authentication. No, by the way, the first three terms that we mentioned is these are the elements, no, of the CIA triad, or the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is a triad. This is represented, no, this is represented by a triangle. No, so inside of the triangle, that is the data. No, that is the data. Now, we are doing all these things because we want to protect the data. No, will just give you an example or an analogy. No, now if you've lost your phone, iPhone 14. Let us say iPhone 14. Yes, indeed, you will cry because of the cost, no, because of the cost of the iPhone 14. But not only that, but you will cry also because all the photos, all the places that you have visited, okay, were there on your mobile phones. So meaning to say, you have lost, if it's not backup, you've lost the memories, not only the phones but the memories that you have, that you have for the past several years. Okay, so let's proceed with the next term, the authentication. Okay, when we say authentication, it refers to the process of verifying the identity of a user or a system. No, so for example, if earlier I asked Mr. Jimenez to verify, no, to verify the verify your classmates. No, so he verified it based on um, who he knows, no? Kung sino yung kilala niya na classmates nyo, no? But if I will do that, I will verify that through the class list. Okay? Baka kasi may naliligaw. The same thing with this, no? In a technology, no? It can be achieved through passwords, biometrics, no? Sometimes we have this 2FA, two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, two or more, etc. No? And of course, biometrics also. That is one form of authentication. So by the way, in let's go back first. Let us go back for availability. No, how can we be able to achieve this? Is through redundant systems. No, as what I've said, diba? Redundant system. They have multiple servers. If this particular server has failed, no, the other server will take it over. Okay. All right. And then, of course, there is also a plan in relation to disaster recovery and business continuity. Whatever happens, no, the show must go on, and then the services should continue, no, even there is a disaster, or even there is an incident, something like that, or maybe if there is a God-made incident, no, in few hours or in few days, okay, the show must go on, or that particular service must continue. Okay, so let's proceed with authorization. Yan. When we say authorization, it refers to the process of granting or denying access to resources based on a user's identity and privileges. No? Okay? So that particular person is authorized to access that particular system. No? Okay? Right. So this can be achieved through access controls, permissions, and other technologies, for instance. No? Okay. So access control. So for example, if you are a clerk, you just need to be assigned or to be authorized, no, to access this particular drive only. No. Other than that, it's quite impossible for you to be authorized to have this um to have this to have this drive, for example, the drive of the president, or of the manager. Okay. All right. So non-repudiation. So this particular term, I believe I was able to introduce this to you last semester also, no? But if you forgot this term, non-repudiation, it refers to the ability to prove that a message or transaction was sent by a particular party and cannot be denied later on, no? What I'm thinking right now, the best example of this is the FB Messenger, di ba? There is a term nga, no? Sinso, no? If the other party is not replying to your message, you can be able to tell her or him that, oh, there is a sin zone, no? Because it proves that the other party cannot be able to deny that he or she was able to see your message already, no? It's not only in FB but other things as well. For example, you went to a certain place, and then this other person cannot be able to deny because the CCTV were able to record it, no? Okay, something like that. And then for example, okay, for example, uh you've you have reported for work, and then it can be one form of evidence that you really reported for work, but it was recorded as absent, but you can be able to use this as an evidence uh, that you have attended the work through the biometrics, and so on and so forth. Okay, I hope you can think of what are the examples of a non-repudiation. So during your examination, it will be a multiple choice, but there will be questions that you will be analyzing, that you will be contemplating on how would you answer this one. Okay. All right. Now, this particular term can be able to be achieved through digital signatures, audit trails, and of course, the technologies that I have mentioned a while ago. Okay, so let's proceed with the risk management. No? Do you have any questions, clarifications, or do you want to share some insights about these terms that we were able to discuss already? So if you have some insights, no, please do not hesitate to raise your virtual hand, or just give me a message on the chat box. Thank you very much. Let's proceed with the term risk management. When we say risk management, it refers to the process of identifying, assessing, and mitigating risk to information security. There are three terms that I would like to emphasize: no, identifying, assessing, and mitigating. No, risk is always there. Risk is always there. That's why it's very important for us to know how to identify it. No, and if we identified already, how can we be able to assess? And of course, what are the things that we need to do in order to manage it? No? As you all know, that I'm also connected with the insurance industry and financial industry. No, risk is always there. No, since we already know that there is a risk, what do we need to do? No, will we employ third party? No, will we employ third party company or an insurance company to do, or for us to pass this particular risk? No, if you are smart enough, I will get, no, I will get the third party, I will get the insurance company, so that in order for me to if something happens, no, um, the 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 third party company or the insurance company could be able to take it over. You know, it's similar to IT industry, no, ladies and gentlemen. Why? We all know that virus attacks or cyber attacks would happen, no? We all know that it will happen, no? Ang question na lang dito ay kailan ba mangyayari ito, no? Naisip nyo ba 'yon? Kailan ba ito mangyayari, no? So if you are I believe that all my students are smart enough, no? Um So kailan mangyayari to? That's why, 'di ba, when we purchase our laptops or if or the devices na binibigay sa atin, something like that, okay, the first thing that we need to check is if there is an antivirus there, no, antivirus application. And then maybe the next thing to do is to change all the defaults, no? Whatever defaults that you have there should be changed according to your specification and not the specification of other people. Nasa sayo yon, no? Okay? Now, I'm telling you that in other corporations or other companies, no, they get, no, a cyber insurance, no. So meaning to say, if there will be a cyber attack, no, whatever it costs, yung cost nun will be shouldered by the insurance company. So therefore, hindi lang ito pang life insurance, hindi lang ito pang car insurance, etc. No? Even in IT, there is already an insurance because I believe that in information technology, in computing in general, we are all smart enough. Okay? So the next one is number 8. What is number 8? 8 is the defense in depth, no? Defense in depth. When we say defense in depth, it refers to the use of multiple layers of security to protect information. In order for us to understand better, we compare this or we use the analogy dun sa mga bahay natin, no? Sa mga bahay natin. Now, di ba doon sa mga bahay natin, meron tayong mga fences. Okay, may mga walls, may gates 'yan, no? Most likely yung gates natin naka-double lock 'yan, no? Naka-double lock. So, you need 2 keys in order for in order for in order for you to open that particular gate. Now, once you entered the gate, no, meron pa tayong door, no? Door dun sa ano natin, sa mismong house natin, and then it is being protected with windows as well, no? Siyempre, given na yon, may mga walls din. No? Once you enter the house, our respective rooms, no, the rooms of the room of your parents, the room of your siblings, okay, etc., is being protected with a door and a lock key, no? May door key, my door doon, and then it has been locked as well, no? Now, including the comfort room, etc., etc. No, maybe there is a CCTV as well, and then the back door, there is a back door of your house. No, now, if you were if you're an analytical person, no, bakit kaya may ganon, no? Bakit other ano pa, no? Other houses may mga security guards pa yan, etc., etc. No? Why are we ba't tayo gumagastos, no? Bakit gumagastos yung parents nyo to have this multiple layers of security? Anybody? I want to hear your reasoning about it. Okay. 3C?
Sir,
yes, can you please turn your camera on so that I can see you? Where are you? All right, Aldrin. Go ahead, Aldrin.
Siguro po, yung mga magulang po nag-invest po about sa ganyan, sa seguridad, pagdating din po sa bahay. Siyempre, talamak naman po alam naman natin sa Pilipinas na talamak yung mga magnanakaw, kung ano naman ang pinapasok para pagkakitaan lang. Kasi yung mga cameras, like yung CCTV, nakakatulong po yan para dun po sa mga masasamang loob na mag-try pumasok sa kanila. Saka evidence din po na if ever na mahuli, sa talaga yung nagnakaw. Ganun po.
Okay, very good. No, thank you very much, Aldrin. No, I like your answer, and then ano lang, it proves that you're analyzing things. Thank you very much. No, okay. No, so naisip ba natin that your parents, no, were investing on this sophisticated multiple layers of security, not because they want to protect the house itself, no, okay, but what they want to protect are the people, no, inside of that house. no? And these people are their loved ones. These are family members, no? So if you are head of the family, okay, you will do everything to protect these people, no? Okay, something like that. Now, just to connect, no, with the analogy or the with the situation that I have mentioned, these people in IT, these are considered the data. Okay, that's why companies are really are having their budgets, no, big budgets, okay, for IT, no, because of this, no. Now, okay, we can be able to achieve the defense in depth, no, through the physical security, physical security, meaning to say the fences, the CCTV, the logbook, etc., no, and some of the controls, no, network security, application security, and controls. When we say controls, it doesn't mean it is related to technical, no, it can be policies, no, it can be it can be what do you call that? It can be a reward system as well. All right. Sige. Okay, let's proceed with the next term, the principle of least privilege. Okay, least principle of least privilege. When we say least privilege, the principle of least privilege, it refers to the idea that users should have an access to the minimum level. No, let me emphasize that the minimum level of resources. Okay, the minimum level, no, minimum level of resources necessary to perform their job functions, no. If for example, in an organization, no, uh in an organization, and then you have a secretary, do not assign, no, to that secretary all of the things, no, that all of the things necessary. You just assign, no, necessary functions for her or for him to perform its job. Okay, why? Because later or sooner or later, no, maybe this particular um, job functions, no, will be abused as well, no. Now this can be achieved, no, through access controls, permissions, and other technologies, for instance. Okay, the last but not the least is security by design, no. I always tell this to the students: every time you code or whatever you do, no, you always think not only the privacy of others but also the security of the users, etc., no. Security by design or security in mind. The back of your head, no, before you do, by the tabletop exercises pa lang kayo, you are thinking already. You are thinking already, ano ba ito, no? What if, no, unauthorized users would be able to access this particular file, this particular system? What do I need to do in order for me to protect the privacy of my users, etc., no? So, 'di ba sabi ko sa inyo, IT, computing students in general, they have this logical thinking, no? They should do anong tawag dito? They should be analytical by default. Okay? All right. Now, uh okay, how can we be able to achieve the security by design through secure coding practices, no? If you take notice, 'di ba? All these years nag-i-improve tayo, no? Nagkakaroon ng masking, nagkakaroon ng nagkakaroon ng way na for the application to protect the user from the shoulder surfing attack, no. Alam niyo ba yung shoulder surfing attack? Can you please try to give your insights about shoulder surfing attack? Anybody? Do you want me to call or do you want me to ask for a volunteer?
Sir, pwede mag-try.
Yes, go ahead. Turn your
Sir,
camera on, please.
Sir, yung shoulder surfing po, sir, is yung ano, sir. Example po is nagta-type ka po ng password mo sa ATM machine and may tao sa likod mo na parang tinatry niyang silipin kung ano yung tinatype mong password, sir.
Yes. Okay, very good, no? Thank you very much, Mr. Bali-Balita, no?
Sir,
Yes,
ako
they,
din po.
yeah, go ahead, please, Miss Dongka.
Yes, sir. Sir, yung sa akin naman po,
Parang ang saya mo nung tinawag kitang Miss Dongka.
Sir, yung
Sige.
pagkakaintindi ko po sa shoulder surfing attack, sir, yung like for example, nasa jeep ka, sir, then you are typing message to anyone, then may nakikibasa po. Parang something like that po.
Yes, very good. Thank you very much. No? Yes, that's the best. That's the example. No? The example that Mr. Balibilita gave us with regards to ATM. No, so most likely my ATM machine, my ATM si ang tawag doon, ATM card, no? ATM card si Mr. Bali-Balita, no? So sana all. Anyway, si ano naman, Miss Dungka, no? What she use, yung ano, yung when we use our mobile phones, no? And then yung mga katabi natin, okay, tinitignan nila yung messages na yon, no? So let me just share this to you. When I rode an LRT, actually yung girl, no? Binabasa niya, no? Yung katabi ng girl, magkabila, no? Dalawang lalaki, they were reading, no, the messages, the messages of that lady, no? So I was just laughing, no? Siguro yung babae didn't take notice, no? In the past, ganyan din, no? My own experience, I was typing, no? On my mobile phone, and then on my peripheral view, I was able to see the girl, the lady, no, beside me. She's reading my messages, no? So para lang ano, good vibes lang, no? So good vibes lang. The next what I type is what is what I type is my phone number. Okay, and then I ask on my message, how about you, what's your number, no? And then on my peripheral view, when she was able to read that, she stopped reading it. Okay, so that is the shoulder surfing. Okay, all right, no, now so all of these strategies, I know, no, kasi while you are progressing, no, until graduation, okay, you should be able to develop all these things, and then this thinking, okay, could be you could be able to use this when you will be working na, no, working, or you own your own business. All right. Okay, so let's proceed with this slide. This slide contains the key reasons why do we need information security, or why is it considered important, no? So, okay guys, no, everything we do, no, information security is there, no? It is part of the equation. We cannot be able to deny that. Information security, cybersecurity, forensic computing should always be on that equation. Okay? So, 'di ba, I have shown you naman how much how much would be your salary, no, if you decide to have this particular field. Okay? All right. So let's start with this, you know. One reason, or one importance, is protecting sensitive information, no? Now, we are lucky enough that last semester we were able to discuss this, no? We discussed about the cyber security. What's that? I forgot. 10173 and 10175, no? Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 and the Data Privacy Act of 2012. In Data Privacy Act, we learned that all of us have PIIs, no? Personally identifiable information, or PHIs, personally health information, and it includes as well some of our financial information. So mind you, we should not be able to share this to other people, because maybe this informations can be used against us, no? Now, it's not only personal but also of the companies, no? Organizations collect and store a significant amount of sensitive information, no? Can you please type there in the chat box, what are these sensitive information of the organization? So I want to see your names and your comment about it. All right, I'm waiting for your answers.
Sir, ano pong organization po? Like any particular
Yes,
organization?
any particular organization, or when I say organization, I'm referring to the companies as well. What are those? Where are your answers na? Nandiyan na ba? Sorry. Ayun, all right. Okay, according to Bali-Balita, employers, what kind of employers data? Yan, cell phone number, medical history, what else? Medical records, bank statements, phone numbers, what else? Okay, when you try to answer, what I want you to do to have is go beyond the outside of the box, no? Okay. Yes, indeed, no. The, names, contact numbers. But aside from that, what else can you be able to answer? Okay. Because by answering that, I will know that you are thinking, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. You should do that because you're still young and your neurons are quite fresh. All right. Social media platforms, biometrics like fingerprint authentication images. All right. Bank accounts, phone numbers, email addresses. What else? Okay. What else? Okay. One of the so parang tayo parang outside of the box, no? Your political affiliations can be considered as sensitive informations, no? Okay, 'di ba? Merong during last year's election, meron tayong parang cancel culture, no? If ever that particular person will know or knows about your political affiliations, maybe this particular person um, can be able to use that against you, no? That's why it is being considered what do you call that, can be considered as sensitive information. Okay, what else? All right, what else? Okay, educational background. Okay, what else? All right, Sega. Okay, very good, very good, very good. 3C, no? You're participating and you're thinking out of the box. Okay, so I want to congratulate you with that. All right. Now, how can information security can be able to help us to protect, no, this sensitive information, no? It helps us to protect this information from unauthorized access, use, or disclosure, no? So the technologies that we have mentioned last time around, and then the technologies that I have demonstrated to you during the past weeks, okay, would help us to protect this sensitive information, no? Okay. All right. Now, sooner or later, you will be having your capstone, no? Siguro, you could be able to, to have a study with regards to information security also. And of course, in digital forensics. All right. Number 2, compliance with regulations, no? Yan. Okay. Now, there are companies, no, or in not companies but industries, no, and they are required to um, they are required to comply with the regulations or with the regulatory bodies, no. Here in the Philippines, under the Data Privacy Act of 2012, all not employees but all companies are required to are required to comply, no, comply with the Data Privacy Act through the National Privacy Commission. Okay, and they are required to follow the privacy steps. One of the steps, or the first step, is for them to assign a DPO, or the data privacy officer, no? Or sorry, not privacy, data protection officer. Okay. All right. So other industries that would uh that should comply, no, with the regulatory bodies or with regulations is the hospitals, no. In USA, in the United States of America, they have this act, no, yung HIPAA Act, no. This is in relation with the Hospital and Insurance Privacy Act. Okay, so this is similar to this is almost similar to the Data Privacy Act of 2012 here in the Philippines. Okay, now in the banking sector, payment banking sector, okay, or payment card industry or the PCI, okay, they have also a standard or banks and insurance companies, okay, debit and credit cards are required also to follow the to follow or in compliance uh, with the PCI DSS. Okay. All right. Now, failure to comply, no? So baka sabihin nyo, sure, pwede bang hindi mag-comply? Okay? All right. So, failure to do so or failure to comply, all right, meron niyang corresponding, no, penalties, etc., no? Okay? Uh, Ayan. Now, syempre, as a company, you would like to protect, no? You would like to protect your reputation. 'Di ba? Sabi ko kanina, reputation is the best asset not only of a person but also of the company, no? So if I were you, you would follow, no? You would follow that particular uh you would comply, no? You would comply. All right? Not only to protect your reputation, but also to avoid fines and legal penalties. 'Di ba? During our discussion last semester, nakita natin doon, 'no ba? You will be the company will be litigated, and not only be litigated, merong mga fines. And nakita nyo naman doon, millions of pesos, no? Millions of pesos or hundreds, thousands of pesos. Okay? Ayun. All right? So next thing that we will be discussing is the maintaining trust and reputation. Okay. Yan. Okay. So maintaining trust and reputation. Okay. So just give you to give you an example, just think of an antivirus company, no? And this antivirus company were attacked, no? We're infected with a virus, no? So if you are a client, no, what do you need to do, no? If you learn that your antivirus application or the company itself were attacked or were infected with a virus, syempre I would not ask you anymore. Maybe the normal answer to that is you will pull out. No, you will pull out because you do not trust that person. Not person, but you do not trust that company anymore. No, the reputation has been damaged. No, something like that, or the trust has been, the reputation has been damaged. Okay. All right. Now, strong information security measures can help maintain the trust of customers, partners, and stakeholders. Since I mentioned the stakeholders, we should also know who are these stakeholders. Okay. Now, so having said that, let me ask one person what is his or her insights about this particular term, stakeholders, and please tell me also or tell us who the example of a stakeholder. Okay? Sige, let me call. All right, let me call on Jessica. Turn your camera on, Jessica, please. Jessica, are you still there? I'm waiting for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, please, sir. Turn your camera on first. There you are. All right. Go ahead, please.
Sir, pwede po paulit ng question.
Ako okay lang namang okay lang naman ako mag-ulit, no? Ng ano. Kaya lang pag-uulitin natin, it proves that you were not listening to me, no? Sige, anyway, I will be okay. I will be repeating that for your sake, for your sake, but please, no, to other people, no, every time I ask I ask a question, or because before I ask a question, there is a premise, no. If you take notice, no, nagpe-premise ako, I'm telling a situation, a story, etc. No, okay. Sige, anyhow, I've mentioned here Miss Nuestro, no, with regards to the stakeholders, no. Okay, I'm very sure that this is not your first time to hear about this word or this term, okay, because I've introduced this as well during our discussion last semester. Now, what's your insight about the stakeholders, and who are these stakeholders of a company or of an organization? Go ahead, please. I'm waiting for your answer.
Sir, yung a person with an interest or concern in something, especially in business.
Okay, since you were able to define that, can you please tell me or tell us who are these stakeholders? And give an example of an industry or of a company.
Customer, sir.
Customer, what else? Who else rather?
Vendor, sir.
What?
Vendor po. Employee.
Employer, employer. What? Who else? Miss Jessica, can you please pakibaba or pakitaas yung camera so that we can be able to see your dapat may headspace ba yung head ayan, yan, so that we can be able to see your full face. Thank you.
Investor, sir.
Investors, okay. Who else?
Government.
Are we mention first what type of company that you are having as an example? Wala na ba? Wala na tayong ano? Sige. Let me call on Rose. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Nuestra. Rose, please. Rose, turn your camera on. Nasaan ka na?
Sir Rose and Baroga po ba, sir?
Yes, yes.
Ay.
Baroga. Turn your camera on.
Ay, sir, sorry po sa background.
Oo nga, ano yung background mo?
Yung sa ano po kasi to sa ate ko po nag-ano po sila ng webinar po.
Sige, okay lang. Go ahead, please.
Yung stakeholder po, sila po yung mga tao na nag-i-invest po sa isang business. So these stakeholders can be a person who are interested in that business to give support, and parang alam din po nila na magbe-benefit po sila dun sa business na pinag-investan po nila.
Okay. Ayan, sige. Thank you very much, Ms. Baroga, for that answer. And who are those stakeholders?
Sir, ano po, stakeholders can be the employees of the company, the vendors or the suppliers.
Okay. Sige, thank you very much for that. Okay, tama naman, no? Tama naman yung sinabi ng dalawang classmates nyo, no? So they have a concern or they have an interest of that particular company or organization, no? So for instance, in a school, okay, hindi lang naman estudyante, no, ang mga considered stakeholders, no, pwedeng professional organizations, ano pa ba, employers, okay, technically they do not they are not part of the company itself, but they have an interest, no, okay, so kasi yung professional organization, they have an interest on that particular school, kung ano ba, no, nakakapag-follow ba ng standard yung school, even accreditation body, no, even employers sooner or later they are interested to hire the graduates of that particular school or of that particular college. So for instance, here here at PLP CCS, no, yung ang tawag dito, these employers are interested to hire the graduates of PLP CCS. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's proceed with after this slide, let's go on a break, no? Kasi hanggang 10:30 lang naman tayo. So let's have a quick lunch, and then at 11 o'clock, let us have let us continue, no, the lesson until 2 p.m. So take your lunch, heavy lunch, para until 2 p.m. because our purpose or our goal right now is for us to finish the entire presentation. Okay, ano lang naman to, 13 slides. Okay, all right. Now the next one is ensuring business continuity, no? So we all know naman that every time there is an incident or a security incident, no, it can disrupt business operations, no? So we were able to witness that during the typhoons, during earthquakes, diba? There was a seminar. We need to stop the seminar because there was an incident already, no? Okay, so if we know that, no, therefore it can cause downtime, no, and then this downtime can be treated as significant, no, significant in a way that we could be able to lose not only the lives, but we could also lose some monetary considerations, no? Now, if there is an impact, no, in revenue, therefore there might be an impact on customer satisfaction, no? Now, information security can be able to help us in minimizing the impact, no, the impact of this one by ensuring that there is a business continuity, no, and then of course minimize the downtime, no, instead of having a downtime of one day, no, maybe it could lessen to that, no. Look at Japan, diba? May mga tsunamis na yan in the past, meron ng mga earthquakes in the past, pero after couple of days, after 1 to 2 days, they were back in operation, no? So sana here in the Philippines, ganun din tayo, no? Alright. The reason why nagkakaroon tayo ng mga fire drill or earthquake drill, so that kung mangyari yon, yung event, yung incident na yon, okay, we are hoping and praying that it could minimize the impact. Okay, so the next one, managing the risk. So as what I mentioned in the previous slides, no, so information security helps organizations identify and manage risk, no, related to their information and technology assets. So minsan ano yan, no, nagkakaroon ng matrix yan, and then anong tawag dito, nire-rate yan per risk, no? Ano ba yung likelihood or probability that this particular risk would happen, and based on that rating, the management would try to manage or mitigate that particular risk. Okay? All right. Last but not the least, protecting against cyber threats. Cyber threats will always be there, no? But as a good company, how would you be able to manage, no, manage that threat, or yeah, protecting that cyber threats, no? So cyber threats naman are continuously evolving, because these people, these cyber criminals, the one that is on the other side of the fence, ay ano, ay anong tawag dito, ay nag-evolve, no? Even though some of them, no, even though some of them are script kiddies, some of them have the ability to develop an application, but they are evolving, no, on tawag dito, on their uh, on their own home. Okay, they were enjoying attacking, no. Okay, they were enjoying attacking establishments or companies dun sa bahay nila, no. Okay, so now definitely information security can be able to help us, no, to protect us against these threats, no, the threats such as the malicious software, ransomware, phishing attacks, and social engineering, no. Social engineering, hindi mo kailangan magpaka-technical, no, for the companies to be attacked, no, by cyber criminals or social engineering attacks. Okay? So minsan, no, nangyayari yung social engineering dun pa lang sa front desk. Okay? So front desk, etc. All right? So we are done with this particular slide, and it's already what time is it now? It's already 10:24, and then we have 30 minutes break. So what I want you to do is to take your heavy lunch, because we will be continuing at 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. for us to finish this particular discussion. Okay, unless otherwise you have some questions, I will allow you to be on break, and then we will be pausing this recording, and then we will be back on at around 11 a.m. Do you have any more questions, clarifications before I pause the recording and will allow you to take your lunch?
None naman po so far.
None so far. So let's pause the recording, and happy lunch everyone, and then see you in 30 minutes. Thank you. Okay. Good morning. We will be resuming our discussion in 5 minutes. So it's already 11:10. We will be having the continuation of this discussion at 11:15. Thank you very much. And please ask your classmates to be back na before that time. Thank you. Okay, so good morning. So let's continue the lesson that we have. Okay, but before that, can I may I know, or I just want to know if you are here already. Type there in the chat box present if you are still here na. Okay, some K, Ray rather, Neil, only 3. How about the others? Okay, Aljon, Rufila, Princess. Okay, Michael. How about the others? Manuel. Okay, Jo Marie. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I hope you were able to take your lunch already, and I'm sorry, no, we were able, medyo late tayo, no? It's already 11:17 in the morning, 11:19. So let's continue. So I just want to confirm if you can be able to see the slide that I'm presenting to you right now.
Yes po, sir. Kita po.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so let me read. Okay, so let me read this one. The goals and objectives of information security are to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So earlier, I've mentioned this one na to you, di ba? That these 3 words or 3 terms, confidentiality, integrity, these are elements of the CIA triad, no? What is inside of the triangle is the data, no? So first and foremost, we are having this because we want to protect the data inside of the triangle, no? Now, it's not only that, but we should be always be mind of the privacy and legal compliance, not only of a person, but also of the organization. No? So here are some specific goals and objectives that organizations may aim to achieve through their information security program. Okay, so let's proceed. Right. Okay, so let's start with the confidentiality, no? So in confidentiality, we are protecting sensitive information from unauthorized disclosure, no? So maybe one of the maybe we can consider the objectives here on this confidentiality is for us to restrict access to sensitive information through access controls and permissions. So we should be able to think ahead, no? It is only be shown to this person yung kailangan lang niya makita, no? Remember the principles of least privilege. Number 2, one of the objectives as well on the confidentiality is to encrypt sensitive data to prevent unauthorized access, no? So we are encrypting data, or we can also encrypt folders, we can also encrypt the drives, okay, to prevent unauthorized access, no, from this file, no, yung sensitive data. Number 3 is for us to monitor and audit access to sensitive information. So once it is being done, no, na nagkaroon ng data leakage or nagkaroon ng data breaches, no, so it's time for us, no, to monitor, no, maybe it's a real time monitoring, no, who are those people who access, or who are those people who are trying, no, to access that particular file. All right, so once it is being accessed na, it's time for you to audit, no, if this particular person is the one who did access that particular, okay. So that is the confidentiality. The second one is the integrity. When we say integrity, it is protecting information from unauthorized modification and or destruction. Okay, earlier we were able to discuss the integrity. So this time around, I want you to give your insights about the integrity. Anybody? Let me call on Cabrera. Cabrera, please. Turn your camera on, Cabrera. Asan ka na, Miss Cabrera?
Okay na po ba?
Ayan.
So integrity, protecting information from unauthorized modification or destruction.
Ayan.
So for example po sir, may binigay sa yung parang
Ay,
ah,
Cabrera, naka-spotlight ka. Okay lang ba? Nagulat ka ba?
hindi naman. Parang documents po na parang sensitive po siya. So, pag wala ka pong authorization from the person na may-ari po ng document, you don't have the right po to modify or maglagay ka ng mga magdagdag ka or parang sisirain mo yung information na yun, sir, or magdi-delete ka ng mga information na mahalaga po dun sa documents na binigay sa'yo ng specific person or ng organization.
Alright, sige. Ms. Cabrera, in addition to that, yung question natin is how can we be able to determine if that particular file has been changed or has been altered? Something like that.
Pwede po tayong gumamit, sir, na yung mga tinuro mo po sa amin na mga application like
Like
yung
what?
K-Hasher po tsaka yung HXD. So dun po sa K-Hasher po kapag nagalaw po yung file, pwede po natin tingnan kung yung hash value niya po ba is napalitan.
Okay.
Tapos dun naman po sa HXD, ayun na po, hash lang po palang gagamitin natin.
Alright, sige. Thank you very much for that. No? So we were able to demonstrate to you the applications that it is needed for us to determine if this particular file has been changed or altered. No? So next meeting for our face-to-face, we will be dealing with Windows management naman. No? In order for us to protect the operating system or the device that we have. No? So we will be using in advance, I want you to study also the local security policy. No? So parang later on, we want to mimic or we want to simulate like you are a security administrator. Okay? Sige. Sino yung pumapasok? Veral. Alright. Sige. Okay, so let's proceed with availability. Availability naman, it ensures information is available when it is needed. No? So earlier, we were able to discuss that also. But this time around, I want to call another individual. So kung kanina, babae yung tinawag natin, para just to be fair, lalaki naman yung tatawagin natin this time around. Okay, so let me call on Jericho Santana. You turn your camera on, Jericho.
Yes po, sir.
Ayan. And then, I will make spotlight din natin, parang kanina kay Cabrera. Ayan, go ahead.
Sir, what's the question?
Oh, naku. Okay. Ito guys, no, ang nagpapaulit ng question or questions, it's either hindi nakikinig or wala sa session.
Availability.
All right. So what's
availability, sir, it is a ability to access when it is available. Sabi niyo po kanina 24/7. This availability is information should be available to authorize individuals or groups or system when it is needed. That's all.
Sige, thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. Okay, so there are many objectives, no, for this availability. Okay, maybe we can state that we want to minimize downtime and disruptions caused by security incidents. So hindi naman natin maiiwasan yung mga security incidents na yan, no? So it can be man-made or it can be tawag dito, natural, no? Natural in nature. That's why we cannot be able to control, but also we should be able to minimize the disruption of these security incidents. Next one is implementing redundant systems to ensure availability of critical information and services. There are many critical information services. Diba, last time around, I asked you, what are those critical informations and services? No? So kayo, parang nababahala kayo, ano nga ba yung isasagot ko, etc., etc. but all of you naman were able to answer, no, that particular scenario. That's why I congratulated you with that. But one example that we can give is the services in the hospital, diba? Some of the hospitals here in the Philippines are being operated, no, by IT or by information technology. Okay, so now if this will be attacked, okay, by if this will be attacked there were cyber attacks. Okay, so what would happen not only on the system but also of the patients, no, baka so parang na-hack yung pharmacy, no, yung prescription nila iba-iba na. Okay, so may chance na mali yung inumin ng pasyente. Inumin na gamot yung pasyente. So something like that. Okay? Now in order for us to avoid this, okay, maybe we can be able to implement redundant systems, or maybe the applications shall be checked, no, thoroughly, double check, but not only by one person but other people as well. Okay. All right. The next one is testing and maintaining disaster recovery plans. No, so sabi ko sa kanina that there are two plans for this. No, one is the disaster recovery planning. If the disaster happened after a couple of days, okay, how would you be able to recover? No, the other plan is the business continuity planning. It means to say that the show must go on, or the business, the operations of the business shall continue even though there is a disaster. So what are your plans, no, for this to be implemented? Okay, so but before that, you should be hindi naman you're formulating it, you're creating it, but it's important also for you to test and maintain this, no. Why, bakit ganun? Kasi gusto mong makita kung nagfa-function ba. Eto, kunwari, in case may mangyaring earthquake, no? So what do you need to do? Baka yung sprinkler system mo, okay, sa laboratory, no? Ano siya, no? Tubig pala yung tawag doon. Tubig pala yung lalabas doon sa yung sprinkler system natin, no? So if that is the case, kung tubig 'yon, masisira yung mga machines natin or yung mga devices natin. Okay? So that's why it's very important for this particular control to be tested also, no? Number 4, privacy. Okay? Privacy, it ensures that personal and sensitive information is collected, used, and disclosed in accordance with privacy laws and regulations, no? So one of the provisions in the Data Privacy Act is for the data subject to be informed of his or her right, no? Yon, so is her right to be informed kung anong gagawin dun sa collected sensitive information niya sa atin, no? It doesn't mean na hindi i-process 'yon, wala siyang walang information na gano'n. Dapat may ganong information. And then there is also a privacy notice, etc., etc., no? And then meron din meron din yung data subject may right to forget, right to be forgotten. So if he decided later on that he do not want his data to be associated with this particular school or organization, he can do it so, no? Pero there are disadvantages on that also. Okay? All right. Now, objectives of this, implement privacy policies and procedures, no? So yon, in each company or in each unit, there shall be privacy policies and procedures, no? So in a university, there should be, I do not know, but there is if you are having a university code, the privacy policies and guidelines, procedures shall be included there as well, no? Second one is limiting access to personal and sensitive information. So definitely, for example, you guys, no, you are students, and then if somebody would be getting your information, no, so would the registrar's office would give no, this particular information of yours to a certain person na hindi related sa inyo, or even they are relatives, ibibigay kaya nila yon, no? So we should check on that. Okay, and then the next one is ensuring individuals are informed about the collection, use, and disclosure of their personal information. These are the subject. These are the rights of the subject. No, rights to be informed. Okay, of what the company or the organization would do to your data. 'Di ba minsan nakaka-receive tayo ng email or nakaka-receive tayo ng messages in FB na kunwari nagbago no yung data policy or yung privacy notice or privacy policy ng isang kumpanya or ng isang organization. Okay? So number 5, legal compliance. In legal compliance, it ensures that the organization complies with relevant laws and regulations related to information security. Here in the Philippines, recently, 'di ba meron tayong yung tawag dito, meron tayong yung identification, no? Yung ano nga tawag doon? Okay, we are not required but we are encouraged to apply for a national ID. Okay, but one thing that I do not like there, until now, I do not have yet the national ID. I applied 2 years ago, but until now, we do not have yet that particular ID, no? And then the national government were able to collect the informations that we have. No, I really do not know what did they do with this process, because until now I do not have yet the national ID. No, and then there is also the law that was signed by the president. No, yung SIM registration. So we are required to register our SIM. No, and failure to do so, your number will be deactivated. No, now in 2012 we had these 2 laws, the Data Privacy Act and the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 were passed by Congress. No, so most likely these are the laws that we are concerned in terms of the information security. But aside from that, as what I've said, yung mga regulatory body regulations, no, per industry, no, maybe not only here in the Philippines but it is considered international. Yung HIPAA, no, yung GDPR, guys, this is in relation, parang Data Privacy Act, pero this is based in Europe. But here, that is applicable as well to us because from time to time we are communicating with people in Europe. Okay, all right, so maintaining accurate and complete records related to information security. So for us, we should know, no, how to check, no, the veracity of an information. No, so reporting security incidents to relevant authorities as required by law. No, last semester I mentioned to you that every time you have a concern with some privacy disclosure, or if you believe that your privacy were violated, no, you just need to go to National Privacy Commission and website or Facebook page, and then you can be able to make a complaint, no, of that, but make it sure that you were able to talk to that person. No, for example, you had a photo together and then you really do not like, no, that your picture would be posted on that account. No, you on that account, you make it sure that you were able to talk to that person. No, minsan kasi nadadaan din sa pag-uusap yan, no? And then maybe you can tell that person, I'm not comfortable in posting my picture on that account. Okay, so can you please remove it for my for you to respect my privacy right, no? So if that person were able to remove it, it's okay na, no? It's okay na. You don't need to go to the National Privacy Commission for you to make a complaint. But if this particular person do not want to remove that particular photo, etc., okay, it's time for you to go to the National Privacy Commission. Okay. All right. So let's proceed with risk management. Risk management, this is the last one for this slide, identifying and managing risks related to information security. So, okay, so there are objectives that we need to consider here. One is to conduct risk assessment to identify potential security threats and vulnerabilities. This is the first thing to do, okay, to determine the vulnerabilities. When we say vulnerabilities, these are flaws or weaknesses of a system or of the applications that you have developed, not only concerning with people, but also of the system or of the company. Okay, now it's very important na kayo na yung makaalam, kayo na makaalam ng weaknesses ng inyong mga applications, ng inyong sistema, para naman you can be able to provide solutions for that. So instead of others knowing about the weaknesses, or the vulnerabilities of that. Kasi mas maganda kung kayo makakalam dahil you can be able to provide solutions. Kasi kaysa sa iba ang makalam, baka ano pa ang gawin nila for that particular problem or that particular vulnerabilities. Okay, the next one is implementing security controls and measures to reduce the likelihood and impact of security incidents. So that is one of our goals, to minimize the impact of any incidents, for example. And then after you deploy, or after it can it should be continuously the team should continuously monitoring and assessing risk to information security. It should be continuous. Okay, so for example, di ba, okay, you purchase for example, 5 years ago you purchase a set of laptops, so in a laboratory, for example, 30 units of laptops, so on the first year, since bago yung operating system, bagong install yung operating system, so most likely the risk is not that high, I mean, kompleto pa naman siya, pero in 5 years baka iba na yung mga operating systems, na dapat yan, pero naka-install pa rin sa'yo yung Windows 11, for example, yung 5 years from now Windows 20 na, for example, so if that is the case, 5 years from now mas riskier na yung laptop mo because of the operating systems. Okay. All right, do you have any questions, clarifications so far? Okay, so bilisan lang natin, ha. Okay. Yan, sige. Okay, so let's proceed with this. Ayan. Types of security threats, since we were able to discuss earlier the threats and vulnerabilities, so let's list it down. What are these threats and vulnerabilities? Now, let's start with malware. When we say malware, these are considered the malicious software. Okay, these are malicious software that can be able to infect a computer system, not only infect but steal data and or damage the files. Okay. Ayan. Okay, the next one is phishing, ito guys, yung phishing, ito yung okay, ito yung pupunta ka sa yung phishing guys, pupunta ka sa isang tulay, isang tulay, tapos meron kang rod, ihahagis mo yung rod dun sa tulay, and then you wait for a couple of minutes, and then after that siguro after a couple of minutes meron ka ng fish. All right? So yun yung phishing, ha. Do you agree with me?
No, sir.
Who said that?
Ako po.
Sino yun? Okay, actually joke yun eh. Yeah. Just kidding. Hindi ba kayo natawa? Alright, mukhang walang natawa. Sige, anyway, thank you very much. Actually, sige, that is not the correct term. Correct, Alright, so phishing guys, this is an attempt to trick users, no, into giving away their personal information. No, this can be this could be one form of email, no, or as an SMS, or a message in the Facebook, no. Usually this is a link, no, um, and then this particular person could be able to click the link, no, and then presto, they can be able to get, no, that information already, no. So they can be able to get the usernames, passwords, credit card numbers by posting a legitimate entity, no. The next one is social engineering. Social engineering, this is the use of deception to manipulate individuals into divulging confidential information or performing actions that may be harmful to the organization. Okay? So for example, guys, no, there is one person, no, talagang maganda siya, 'di ba? And then she will be asking Aldrin, for example, Aldrin, no, can I have your password? No, since maganda yung yung lady, no, and then maybe Aldrin would give the password, etc. No, so something like that. No? That is one form of social engineering. Or minsan trinitrick tayo, no? Trinitrick tayo for us to tell that story to that particular person. All right. Number 4, denial of service attacks. No, DOS, or sometimes this is a DOS. DOS attacks are aimed at overloading a system or network with traffic to make it unavailable to users. So, for example, one example of this is the ping attack. No, ping of death. No, POD, ping of death. No, so merong magsisend ng ping command sa isang server, sa isang sa isang server, okay, and then it is hoping, yung nagpadala noon, it is hoping na ma-overwhelm yung particular server na yon, so that mag-overload siya, and then thus that particular server would be unavailable to users. Okay, number 5, insider threats, no. So when we say insider threats, these are security risks posed by individuals inside of the company. No, they are legitimate part of the company, but they are considered threat also. No, all right. Number 6, vulnerabilities. No, as what I've mentioned in the last few discussions, vulnerabilities are weaknesses in an organization security system that can be exploited by attackers. The first thing that an attacker would do is to have a reconnaissance attack. In reconnaissance attack, no, the attacker or the cyber criminal would try to survey, no, would like to survey the entire organization, no, and then in the organization doon nakikita. Okay, sige, let's proceed with the next slide. Okay, but before that, let's have ano muna, let's have 2 minutes, 2 minutes ano lang, water break tayo, water break. Thank you. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so let us have the risk assessment methodologies and techniques. Diba? Okay, so these are, we have the qualitative risk assessment, quantitative risk assessment, threat modeling, vulnerability assessment, and penetration testing. Okay, so the first one is the qualitative risk assessment. Qualitative risk assessment. When we say qualitative risk assessment, this is an evaluation of the likelihood and potential impact of risk based on subjective criteria, no, such as expertise and experience of security professional. And the second one is quantitative risk assessment. So when we say quantitative risk assessment, this is an evaluation of the likelihood and potential impact of risk based on objective criteria, okay, such as the probability. No, so sometimes we have a table here or a matrix, no, that could happen in terms of the probability of occurrences and the estimated cost of that impact. No, so you have a risk. What is the probability that this risk could happen, and then what is the impact or the cost of this particular okay, the third one is threat modeling. So when we say threat modeling, this is a structured approach to identifying and assessing potential security threats and vulnerabilities by analyzing the attack surface of an application or system. No, in other companies they have this as a dashboard. Okay, next one is vulnerability assessment. No, when we say vulnerability assessment, it is a process of identifying and prioritizing vulnerabilities in an organization systems and applications. No, so, ano naman tayo, no? To be real, all of the all of the applications have these vulnerabilities. Actually, there is no perfect system, operating system, or there is no perfect applications, no? Kaya nga nagkakaroon ng mga multi-versions, no? Ngayon we have Windows 11, but before Windows 11, meron pa tayong mga iba't ibang operating systems in the past. Okay? Can you please type there on the keyboard? I'm just interested, ano yung pinakaunang operating system na nagamit nyo? So, can you please type there in the chat box? Yan, Windows XP. Windows XP. Sabi ni John, Windows 7. Sabi ni Steven, Markina, Windows 7. So most likely, Windows XP and Windows 7. Okay, very good. Okay. All right. Now, the last one is the penetration testing. When we say penetration testing, it involves simulating an attack. We are simulating the attack on that particular surface, on that particular organization. So, the reason why the reason why the company is doing that, because they want to identify the weaknesses and vulnerabilities that could be an explosion, or that could be exploited by the attackers. So, meaning to say, instead of the attackers knows about the vulnerabilities, kayo na lang ang makaalam nun. And then, after we know this particular okay, mag-ano na siya, no? You will do your solution, no? You will provide the solution for this particular problem. Okay? Dami pa pala, no? Saan tayo? Sorry, Okay, risk management. Let's proceed with wala. Okay, let's proceed with the risk management strategies and frameworks, no? So during our discussion last semester also, meron tayong frameworks na inano natin, and then sinabi natin this could serve as your blueprint or map, no, with regards to information security, no? So yung ISO 27001, NIS, yung cybersecurity framework ng NIST, kubit ng ISACA, risk mitigation and risk transfer, no? So ano naman yan, self-explanatory. Okay? Sige. All right, it's already 11:54. Ano tayo? Para ano, let's have ilan pa ba? Wait lang ha. Let me check kung ilan pa tayong slides. Ayan, 8 out of 20. Okay, we have 24 slides and then we are into 8 na. Na yan, 8. Okay. Yan. Okay, so we are into key elements of security policies and procedures. So we are until 2 p.m. And then ano muna tayo? Let's us have siguro 10 minutes, another 10 minutes break, ha? Sige, let's be back in already 11:55. Let's proceed with I'll give you 10 minutes. So let's be back 12:05. Thank you. You're still there, na? Okay, so let's continue. Miss Vanessa, are you there? Miss Vanessa, can you hear me?
Yes po.
All right, so yeah. Okay, so let's proceed with the key elements of security policies and procedures. No? Okay. Okay, so later on pala, no, our next meeting will be concentrated on Windows management, specifically the local security policies. Okay? So yeah. So security policies and procedures are critical component of an organization's information security program. No, so here they provide they are being provided with a framework. For example, for how employees and handle informations when of their sensitive information and assets. No. Okay, so here are some, what can you see on the presentation? These are some of the key, elements, no, of security policies and procedures. Okay, so one is the access control policies. Okay, so for example, yung password policy natin, that is one of the policies. Pero in terms of access control, it defines how the information is. Wait lang guys, sandali magano ko. Wait lang. Let's continue. Sorry medyo ano lang. Okay, let's proceed. So when we say access control policies, okay, these policies define how access to information systems and data should be granted. This particular user can be we can be able to grant his or her request, or okay, or it can be restricted also, or this particular user can be able to be monitored also, no? So this also includes the password management, yung password policies, etc. No? So okay, for instance, you have also the multi-factor authentication and user permissions, no? So remember the least privilege that we were able to mention, parang it's similar to this. Okay? The other one is the data classification policies, no? So, 'di ba meron tayong for example, the data is confidential, this can be open to public, or this can only restricted with the following people, no? Okay, so data classification policies, this it outlines, or these are list of how information should be classified based on its sensitivity and the level of protection, no? It requires, no? So each one of us, we have different level of how we treat our data, no? Kunwari, there one uh, one class, one student, or one person, maybe the classification of his or her data is different with the other students. Okay. Okay. The next one is incident response policies. No, so here in these policies, if the incident happened, no, okay, what company would do, no, ano yung gagawin nung company na yon, no? So these are a set of guidelines, no? These are a set of guidelines for if these are a set of guidelines to detect, and then if the incident happened, how would anong tawag dito? How would the company would report, and of course, how would the company be able to respond when the incidents happen, no? And then under Data Privacy Act, guys, diba, we were able to learn that if the breaches, rather, if a data breach would happen, it is required for the company to report this to the National Privacy Commission. Failure to do so, instead, failure to conceal, no? Failure to conceal the data breach, no? There is a penalty from the National Privacy Commission on this particular company. Okay? All right. Okay, number 5, physical security policies, no? So these policies provide guidelines for securing physical assets, no? When we say physical assets, the servers, the data, the servers, including the data center, is included on this one. Okay. Number 6, business continuity and disaster recovery policies. No, so when we say policies, guys, it should be written. No, so maybe in a university setting, okay, all these policies shall be included on a university policy. No, or maybe here at PLP we call that as a security. So not security code. We call that as a university code. No, and then of course compliance policies, no, this is a guidelines on how we comply with regulatory bodies, no. So for example, here at PLP, or here in many universities, for example, we are complying with CHED requirements, no, or ayun, in each college we have different programs, and these programs are complying with Commission on Higher Education, no? And of course we are mandated to comply also with the National Privacy Commission, no, for the Data Privacy Act of 2012, no? All right, sige. Okay, so we need to, what time is it? It's already 12:30. Okay. So when we say develop this particular slide, rather, would talk about developing security policies and procedures, no? So okay, so in a university setting, no ba, meron tayo, as what I've said, merong university code, etc. But this particular setting, no, for dapat it should be there, no, it should be present, no. So for example, before we can be able to write the policies, we should be able to audit, no, or identify the organization's assets. What are those devices that needs to be protected? Kasi baka nagsusulat tayo ng policies pero wala lang naman pala yung yung mga devices na yon, no? So maybe we employ a CCTV, but in terms of cost, parang lang naman, di ba? Parang ganon, no? But also, not only we are not only considering the device but the data also, no? So yon, this is the first thing to do is for us to start identifying the organization's critical assets, no? So I would like to emphasize on the word critical, no? If it's not critical, no, you should determine, no, how much it costs, no? Not only the cost of the device but also of ano ba ang laman, ano ba ang laman nun. So most likely in a data center, doon talaga, no, parang we were investing, okay, in terms of air condition, the UPSs, and of course the technologies, no, IDSs, IPSs, etc., no. Okay, all right. Okay, the second one is the first one is this one, diba? Identify the organization's assets and then perform a risk assessment. We should be able to identify, no, by conducting a comprehensive risk assessment to identify potential security threats and vulnerabilities, no? Ayan. Okay? And the next step is to develop security policies. So by now, alam mo na, no? Alam mo na, because you already identified and then perform a risk assessment, you know already under this step, okay, you start to develop security policies, something like that, no? So hindi ka agad magsusulat right away. There should be parang a query, or there should be an not investigation, yeah, audit, query, no, audits, queries, no, for you to know kung ano bang pwede mong isulat, no? Hindi naman bara-bara din yan. All right? So after that, when you are able to develop this policies, by the way, no, the policies that can be written were mentioned a while ago, no? Yung parang yung access control policies, incident response policies, and data classification policies, no? In the past, I was able to audit, no, or yeah, I was able to be I was part of the ISO team, and then we audited, no, we audited the I was assigned in IT, and then we were able to, because of that, we were able to write the policies, no, policies of the university, and then we were able to pass the ISO. Number 4 is train employees, no. After you develop the security policies, it's time for us to train the employees, no? Okay, maybe you would ask, why do we need to train the employees? Because they are part of the organization, no? So if they are part of the organization, they have the right, they are privileged, no? They are given privilege to know about these policies, and at the end of the day, di ba, sila din naman yung magpa-practice, or sila rin naman yung mag-implement, no, on some of the policies that we were able to develop. Okay, number 5, monitor compliance, no. So since we were able to train, etc., okay, there should be one body to monitor the compliance of this particular policy, no. So meaning to say, you are one office is regularly monitoring the compliance. Hindi lang naman kasi sinusulat lang dapat yan, no. So for example, in a university code, or in when you develop a policy, hindi lang na sinusulat for the sake of sinusulat, no. So it should be monitored, and you should you ensure that these policies will be followed and obeyed by the constituents, no. So when we say constituents, these are the employees and the stakeholders. Okay, now, all right, so we are done with this slide. All right, so policy types and implementation, no. So there are 3 things here: mandatory policies, advisory policies, and informative policies, no. Okay, so yon. So under mandatory policies, these policies are required by law, and failure to comply may result in legal or financial status, no, or penalties, no. The word itself, mandatory, you are required, no, you are mandated, no, you are mandated, required by law to follow, no, to follow this policies, no, or in compliance with, no. So one instance, for example, here at Pamantasan, okay, each program, no, is mandated to follow the PSG, no, or the policies, no, policies and standard guidelines of CHED, no, and then we are also mandated to follow the National Privacy Commission, no, etc. All right. Now, the number two naman, advisory policies. These policies provide guidance on best practices, but it is optional, no, it is optional. It is optional for you to follow, but when you do not follow, it's not punishable naman, no. So again, sa National Privacy Commission, yung sa PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group, okay, may mga listed ano sila, no, listed guidelines or listed things to do, but it's not optional, but some are optional, some are mandated. Okay, number three, informative policies. In this policy, it provides information and security practices, but they do not require any specific action. No, informative. You don't need to reply. It's like it is like an information that is given by the. For example, there is a recent attack coming from Israel, and then you just need to be aware of. All right. Okay, so it's time for me to call. Para ano lang naman, I just want to check if you are still there or not. But in fairness, no, we are consistently 33 students inside of our virtual conference call. Okay, let's call on Cruise. Cruise, please turn your camera on.
Nope.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Nandiyan ka na ba?
Yes po.
Yeah. Go ahead, May.
When implementing security policies, organizations should consider consistency. So, explain ko po, sir, no?
Yes, please.
Consistency po kasi if kapag nag-release sila ng policy, dapat consistent sila doon. Kailangan na yun talaga yung policy nila kasi kung suddenly biglang mag-iiba, siguro parang magkakagulo po.
Okay. All right. Sige, thank you. All right. Sige, thank you very much. Okay. Now, let's go to the implementation of security policies. No, so every time an organization would try to implement security policies, these are the following that should be considered. No, one is clear communication, the second one is consistency, and the third one is flexibility. No, so when we say clear communication, these are the policies and procedures should be communicated clearly and regularly to all employees and stakeholders. Hindi ito yung bara-bara na lang, no, na pag naisipan ng management, no, and then dinevelop nila yung particular tawag dito, particular security policy na yon, and that it will be implemented right away, no. So it should be communicated with the employees, and they should be trained about this, no. Hindi naman kasi ini-expect natin na nasusunod na lang sila per se, no. They should be informed of this, no. And then that this can be considered a policy. This can be considered a policy if na-approve, no, na-approve ng not necessarily approved, but they are informed of this particular policy. Okay. So the next one is consistency, no? So policies and procedures should be applied consistently throughout the organization. It doesn't mean na itong policy na ito applicable lang sa lower ranks, no? Okay? And it should be applicable to everybody, no? Anyhow, when we say information security, it should be applied to all, no? Okay, if it's not applied to all, okay, none at all. Okay, so when you go out of the university later on, always remember this, no, that you need to obey, no, the leadership, leadership, especially if it concerns with information security. Number three, flexibility. No, when we say flexibility, these policies and procedures should be flexible enough to accommodate changes in technology and business needs. No, so right now, no, um, uh, we should the leadership, or if you are ano na security administrators, no, ano tayo guys, no, we should be open, no, we should be open in revisiting, no, the policies that we develop, no, or that the previous management were able to develop. Dapat it should be continuous, pinag-aaralan yan, no, hindi ibig sabihin you are into MIS lang dapat ang ano, no, it should be may mga stakeholders yan, no, we should be able to anong tawag dito, we should be able to ask them what are their inputs, etc., no, something like that. Hindi naman tayo ano, no, even though you are into MIS, even though you are into the leadership or higher ups later on, no, kayo na lang yung nakakaalam, no, hindi naman ibig sabihin ng ganon. So syempre may mga ibang tao din na may alam with regards to that. Okay, so we should be able to be flexible, no, the policies and procedures should be flexible. Okay, now let's proceed with the ano yan, organization must comply with applicable laws and regulations related to information security. 'Di ba? Ano tayo, no? Okay, lagi natin sinasabi that here in the Philippines, we have two major laws for information security, no? So yung data privacy, and then of course we have this law also, the Cybersecurity Prevention Act of 2012. But if you try to ano, no? If you try to we were able to read and analyze, no, these two laws, okay, but imagine these laws that we were able to discuss, it was past 2012 pa, no, what year are we now? 2023, no, so more or less this is more than a decade already, 11 years. Maybe some of the provisions there, okay, should be revisited, no, by these lawmakers, kasi baka it's not applicable na at this time. Okay, baka nga yung mga penalties doon baka medyo ano na, no, medyo maliit na if our reference is today, no, so nagkaroon na ng inflation. Okay, so for this particular slide, no, we need to be concerned of the data protection regulations, no. Okay, so these regulations require organizations to protect personal information and provide notification in the event of a data breach. So as what I've said a while ago, a company is required, no, to anong tawag dito, to report, no, to report to the National Privacy Commission if there is a data breach. Hindi dapat ikukonceal yan. If there is a data breach, whatever it is, there it should be reported. Now, it is also the responsibility, no? It is also the responsibility of a company, no? Even though it is a local government unit or a private in nature, to protect the personal information. So, when personal information, and some of the personal informations are sensitive in nature, no? Okay? So for example, if you are an owner of if you are ano ba tawag doon? Yeah, if you're an owner of an insurance policy, no, and then you would like to know the details of another owner, no, you cannot be able to do that because you are not the owner of that insurance, no? So for example, if you are a student and you would like to know the information of another student, okay, by default, you cannot be able to do that unless otherwise you have an authorization coming from that particular student. But basically, the school or the company should be able to challenge, challenge that particular person, not only of the identity, but what is the purpose of having of him or her to know about that information. Okay. Number two, industry specific regulations. No, so as what I've stated a while ago, we have different industries. No, so we have health, insurance, banking, academic, etc. No, so in each industry that I have mentioned, ano tayo, no, meron tayong ang tawag dito, may mga compliance tayo dyan, no? So, compliance or regulations. Okay? Number three, international. Ito, when we say international, yung sinasabi natin PCI DSS and then yung HIPAA. HIPAA for the health information privacy. Okay? Something like that. Okay? So these are the three three things that an organization or a company must comply with. Okay? So let's go to cryptography. Yeah. So when we say cryptography, guys, let me read what is in the slide. Cryptography, this is the practice of protecting information by converting it into an unreadable format known as ciphertext using mathematical algorithms. So this is, there is a mathematical computation here or an algorithm rather, no, for a word, no, for an ordinary word to be to be converted, no, into something that no one can be able to understand, no, or unreadable format, no. So on this particular process, we call this as a ciphertext. Okay. All right. So basic principles of cryptography, we have these terms, confidentiality, integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. No, we can be able to apply cryptography under confidentiality by ensuring, cryptography ensures that only authorized individuals can be able to access sensitive information. No, again and again, we are doing all these techniques, methodologies, frameworks, etc., for us to protect, these sensitive information. The second one is integrity, no? So it ensures, when I say it, I'm referring to the cryptography, no? It ensures that information has not been altered or tampered with during the transmission, no? Ayun. So, di ba meron tayong for instance, guys, no, if you would like to send, personal send sensitive information, so most likely you do not send a normal FB Messenger, because maybe that particular one can be attacked, man in the MIM, no, or man in the middle attack. Now, you could employ applications such as Viber or Telegram, so that it is end-to-end encrypted. And then at the same time, there is a time limit for these particular images to be deleted later on, sooner or later. So okay, so even the company itself cannot be able to tawag dito, cannot be able to see the sensitive information. Okay? All right, so usually, 'di ba, yung mga ransomware, no, they are employing Telegram, and then yung bayaran nila crypto, no, or Bitcoin, no? So yun yung mga bayaran nila. The next one is authentication. So in authentication, cryptography verifies the identity of individuals or entities that access sensitive information. So here, when you do access the sensitive information, right away, this particular application were able to detect if you are legit or not. No, so if you are not a robot, if you're not a bot or not. Okay, if you are a bot or not. No. Number three, And number 4 rather, non-repudiation. No? So in non-repudiation, it ensures that individuals or entities cannot deny the actions or transaction. No? So yun yung non-repudiation. No? So some of cryptography can be able to kasi there is a there is a technique. Now, let's proceed. Pangilan na ba to? Ayan. Yan, types of encryptions and algorithms and protocols. No, so we have the symmetric. By the way, no, during our face-to-face meeting, we will be having some applications, no, that is related to this term, so that you can be able to appreciate and learn about this terms. No, but in the meantime, while we are having this discussion, no, it is all it's all concepts. No, but anyhow, during the initial meetings that we had, we already identified and listed down those applications that you need to have or download on your respective machines. No? All right, so let's go on symmetric. No, so on symmetric encryption, this is same key. The same key is used to encrypt and decrypt data. No, so when we say encrypt, this particular message could not be able to be understand and cannot be able to be opened, or cannot be able to be opened by certain individuals. But if the recipient would like to open it now, we call that as decryption. No, that this type of encryption is fast and efficient, but it requires secure distribution of the key. No, so you should be able to know the key. No, minsan sinasabi nga nila, di ba? PM is the key. All right. Number 2, asymmetric encryption. No, so when we say asymmetric or asymmetric encryption, it is also known as public key cryptography. No, so there are 2 keys. No, a public key and the private key. No, so a public key for encrypting data, and then the private key naman is for decrypting data. So again, there are 2 keys here. The public key, when you do encrypt the data, that is considered the public key, and the other one is the private key for decrypting or opening the data. No, so this type of encryption is more secure than symmetric encryption, but it is slower. Okay. All right. The third one is hash function. So this is also based on mathematical computation. No, it converts data of any size into a fixed size string of characters. So again, based on this particular definition, it involves mathematical computations. No, so di ba you have the hash values. No, yung sinabi nating hash values. Okay, last time around, no, parang it's similar to that. No, so these are used to ensure integrity of data, no, by generating a unique hash for a piece of data and verifying that the hash has not changed. No, so as what Ms. Cabrera mentioned, yung K-hasher natin, no, that was the application that I have taught you and I have demonstrated it to you. Number 4 is the transport layer. Okay, TLS or the SSL. Secure sockets layer. No, this is the protocol that provides secure communications over the internet. No, TLS or the SSL. No, yan. Okay, so it uses a combination of symmetric and asymmetric encryption to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and not availability but authentication. Okay, ito yung nakikita nating yung S doon, no, secure socket layer, yung HTTPS, diba? Hypertext transfer protocol with secured layer, no? Okay, so ito yung nakikita nating lock key, no, on the left portion before the URL address. Okay, sige. So we are almost done. Okay, so let's proceed with the cryptography applications. No, yan. Okay, so you have the SSL, TLS, VPN, and then of course the digital signatures. Okay, so let's proceed with SSL. No, this is widely used to secure communication between web servers and clients, such as browser. Diba? We are, I'm always telling you that you always access, no, sites that is being considered secure. Pero syempre, definitely, even though that there is a lock key, no, on before the URL address, okay, it's not a guarantee that this could be safe, no. So it provides encryption of data in transit as well as authentication of web server, no. Okay. All right. So when we say in transit, no, the words itself, it is ano, no, it is traveling, no, from one point to another, no. So meron kasi tayong data at rest, no. So when we say data at rest, nandun lang siya, no, nandun lang siya sa server or nandun sa folder nyo, etc. No, but at the same time, it should be also secured, no. Hindi lang tayo concerned about the data in transit, but also when data is at rest. Okay. All right. Now, the next one is virtual private networks, VPN. No, so VPN uses encryption. Parang it's like a tunnel to provide secure communication between two networks over the internet. No, sometimes ano to ginagawa to when you try to visit one country to another. No, so they are commonly used to allow remote workers to access company resources securely. No, so in one of the banks in Ortigas, no, I was able to work there. No, sometimes ano siya, no, they are having their own VPN. No, okay. Number 3, digital signatures. No, so when we say digital signatures, okay, it uses asymmetric encryption to verify the authenticity of electronic documents. Okay, so ito parang ano, no, such as contracts or agreements. No, they here when you have digital signatures, okay, this is one form of non-repudiation, no, because as the signer cannot be able to deny that their signature about it. Okay, so let's proceed with the network security architecture and design key considerations. Okay, so one is access control, no? So siguro here this particular presentation discussion, you are always hearing me saying the access control, no? So based on the definition, it involves implementing measures to control access to the network, such as user authentication, authorization, and accounting. No, okay. So the user should be properly authenticated, and then we make it sure that that particular person has been authorized to do it. So no, and then of course after that the company should employ accounting procedure. No, and then number 2, network segmentation. Network segmentation involves dividing the network into smaller, no, isolated segments to reduce the impact of security breaches. No, so parang, di ba, parang how can you eat an elephant? No, sometimes this question would arise if you would like to try to solve, no, a big problem. So instead of solving the big problem, you have this chunk of piece by piece, no, problem by sub problem by sub problem, and then you can hindi mo na mamalayan that you can be able to solve that big problem already. Okay. All right, so next one is monitoring and logging. In monitoring and logging, network activity is critical for detecting and responding for security breaches. No, so again, no, you can be able uh, to be able to solve the problem by monitoring, no, and then while you monitor, there should be a lagging system when you do that. Now this particular lecture, guys, no, you could be able to think innovatively. How can you be able to do this? No, siguro you have an existing one, no, using Windows management, and or you can be able to develop your own. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's proceed with the next one, no? Common network security threats and countermeasures. So you have siguro the most famous threats, no? Yung malware or your malicious software. okay, and then maybe the DOS and the phishing attacks, no? So malware, guys, no, as what I've said, no, yung malware, this is a malicious software. This has been developed also, no. So hindi ito this has been developed, okay. Now this malware, it is by default, no, it is designed to harm or disrupt an operation, okay. Not only operations, but the computer systems as well. Now, what are the countermeasures? No, so as security professionals later on, you should be able to think how you can be able to countermeasure it. No, how can you be able to resolve this particular one? Okay, so maybe the best thing to do there, if it's you can just unplug the network cable here, but before that, we should be able to prevent it, or we should be able to countermeasure it, if we may call that. And then it includes as well the antivirus softwares, maybe may nagtanong sa akin, "Sir, bakit po natin kailangan ng antivirus? Bakit naman hindi?" 'Di ba? Bakit naman hindi? Since we already know that viruses, it's possible that our machines will be infected, no? So something like that. Now, but meron tayong mga embedded, may embedded applications ang operating system ni Microsoft, yung Windows Defender, Yan. So maybe that particular embedded application should suffice. All right. The next one is the denial of service attacks, So DOS attacks, Yan, DOS attacks. So earlier, 'di ba sabi ko, a DOS attack, okay, a DOS attack, yung pwedeng yung ping of death, ping of death, so magpiping lang tayo for that particular server, okay, and then hoping we are hoping that in terms of specification, na siya, hindi na makakapag-respond, something like that. But nowadays, na siya, parang nowadays, all this naman, almost all these systems can be able to respond to that particular attack, All right, the next one is phishing attacks, So phishing attacks are designed to trick users into providing sensitive information such as passwords or credit card details, So tayo dapat maging aware tayo every time we were able to every time we receive emails with links, So if I were you, I suggest that you hover, using the mouse, you hover or you park you park on that particular link, and then makikita nyo naman makikita nyo naman doon, okay, if this link is safe or not, or you can be you can be able to see kung ano yung link na yon, kunwari nakalagay doon microsoft.com, pero when you try to hover that one, hindi pala siya microsoft.com, this particular email is trying to mimic that particular site, so again, I want to believe that IT students, computing students in general, are smart enough, and then you will not do that. All right? Sige, let's proceed with, okay, yan. Let's proceed with the firewalls. We are almost done. Okay, firewalls, Yan. Okay, so earlier, di ba, we were talking of houses, di ba? Minsan yung mga houses natin sa mga kapitbahay natin, minsan siya, dikit-dikit, pero doon sa pagkadikit-dikit na yon, mayroon tayong pagitan na firewalls, firewall or firewalls, etc. So ang purpose noon, para kung kunwari nasunog yung kabilang bahay, hindi ka madadamay basta-basta. Okay? So this is one form of infrastructure. The same thing with this, So firewalls, based on this definition that you can see on your screen right now, these are critical component of network security, providing a barrier between internal network and the internet, especially if that particular is considered critical, no, considered critical. So for example, yung commission on election, no, maybe the data there is quite critical, no? So they can be implemented at the network, host, or application level. No? So definitely we will be trying to configure the firewall there. No? It includes setting up access control list or ACL, no? Configuring logging and monitoring for suspicious activity. Now, you should consider yourselves, my dear students, as your own administrator of your own laptops. No? Kaya nga binigay yan in order for you to practice as an administrator, no? So you are not only, no, so pwede yung ano yan, no, as if parang you want to prevent other people to access this laptop, no? So in case that they will be able to access that, no, what would happen after that? Okay. All right. So all right. So types of malware and viruses, no? Sorry, types of malware, malicious software, no? So because virus is a type of uh, malware, na? Yan. Okay, so viruses, guys, these are self-replicating programs that attach themselves to other programs or files, no? They can cause damage to files or disrupt computer systems, no? So yon. So so from the very start, we all know naman that viruses would be there, no? Why are we taking this lightly? Okay, and then so of course Trojans, this is this, it looks like legit, no? Legit software, no? So some of you were installing applications, no, or downloading some files over the internet, no? It looks legit, no? It looks like legit, no? Legit of photos, legit of movies, etc., no? But we really do not know what is inside, no, of that particular one, no? 'Di ba, or 'di ba last time around I mentioned to you the term steganography, 'di ba? In each photo or in each file, in each photo, we can be able to embed applications that could cause harm, no? That could cause harm to the organization, no? Ayun. Okay, so that could be considered a Trojan. Okay. Number 3, ransomware, no? So yung ransomware is a type of malware that encrypts files on a system and demands payment in exchange for the decryption key, no? So, you know, what is the best defense of this is the backup, no? So assuming that you will be a victim of ransomware, but if you have a backup of that particular file, so you don't need to make pakiusap, no, on that particular person, no? Hindi mo na kailangan makiusap, pero because you have that you have that backup file na, no? So you will just tell that person that I will just report you, no, to the authorities because I have naman the backup files, but you don't need to tell that. Okay, so are we clear on it? Do you have any questions, clarifications before we continue? Okay. All right. So thank you very much for that. So yeah. Okay, so let's proceed with the detection and analysis of malware and viruses. Haba ba to? Yan. Okay, so we have 2 here, antivirus software and the IDSS, no? Or we have also the IPSS, no? So yan, merong may hardware yan, merong software yan. Okay? So antivirus software can be able to detect and remove known malware and viruses, no? So nowadays, no, ang updating kasi niyan in the past, okay, it should be manual, no? The user should should tawag dito? I forget. We should update, no, manually that particular antivirus. Okay? But nowadays na siya, no, artificial intelligence based on the usage of a person of the user, and then based on network activity, kumbaga nag-update siya regularly, no? hindi mo nag-update na lang siya. So for example, you visited one website, and then this one website is quite parang not critical but sensitive in nature, no, parang there is a potential for you to acquire the viruses, no, for that site, no. So mag-update na, no, mag-update na si antivirus for that purpose. Okay, the next one is intrusion detection system, or the IPS, also the intrusion prevention system. Okay, this can be able to detect and prevent suspicious activity and unauthorized access to systems. Okay. Okay. Yan. So malware and virus prevention strategies. Okay. Yeah, I guess this is the this is the last one. This is the last slide. All right, and then after this, we will be proceeding to the Q&A. Okay, the other way around. No? Since I know naman that you will not ask questions, so I will be asking you questions. No? So get ready, and then on this particular assessment, I would know if you were able to listen to my discussion since this morning. Okay. All right. So malware and virus prevention strategies, no? So I always believe that in every activity that we have, okay, even in technical, career, or personal, we should always, financial also, we should always employ strategies, no? If you cannot be able to strategize, okay, you cannot be able to do it, no? Number one is to keep software up to date, no? Sometimes, guys, no, it is automatically updated, no? Tayo, no, sanay tayo na automatically updated, but in a company setting, hindi sila nag-update basta-basta. So if there is patch available or update available, they are just testing that update or patch in their testing environment, no? Kasi there are two things, di ba? Testing environment and the production environment. So in testing environment, doon muna natin i-test, no? Para baka kasi hindi tugma, no, yung software na yon, yung updated yung patch na yon, yung update na yon doon sa production, no? So kung hindi tugma, they will be adjusting, no, accordingly, maybe on their system, or on the patch or update, no? Maybe they would wait for another couple of days para magiging tugma dun sa kanilang production. The next one is use antivirus software. Okay, so I would not discuss this thoroughly, yung using antivirus, because from first year or maybe during your senior high schools, you were able to learn about this antivirus. Number 3, educate users, no? Educating users on how to recognize and avoid malware and phishing attacks. You know what? According to a study, the best control, no, for this cyber attacks, no, or data breaches, is the educating or training the users. Lagi yan, no? Okay? Kaya nga tayo, 'di ba? Tayo, guys, 'di ba? Sometimes I'm asking you to report for cybersecurity news, no? Kasi how can you be able to respond, no, if you really do not know what kung ano yung current term or current news about that incident. Okay? So number 5. Okay, number 4, limit. Meron number 5 to, sorry. Limit. Okay, limit user access, no? Number 4, 4 lang pala tayo, sorry. Limit, last one, limit user access, no? Yan. So when we say limit user access, it is related to the least privilege, principle of least privilege, no? You don't need to show to this person the critical systems and data to limit the spread of malware and viruses. Meaning to say, okay, di ba, hindi naman lahat ng tao nakaka-attend sa mga meetings, for example, or hindi naman lahat ng ng employees can be able to access this network drive or this particular folder, etc. No, there is a reason behind that. There is a reason behind that. So again, these are the prevention strategies: keep, use, educate, and limit. All right. Okay, so let's proceed with our. So let me stop sharing this one. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so let me stop sharing this. Sorry, let me stop recording. So baka na-pressure naman kayo. Let me